Alright guys, today we're going to be looking at the original Resident Evil, released in 1996 and set in the fictional town known as Raccoon City. You should all be familiar with it by now, it's like 16 years later. It was originally released on the PlayStation but soon ported to the Sega Saturn and Windows, and then the Nintendo DS sometime later in 2006 to celebrate the 10th anniversary, but we'll get into that one later. For now we're just talking about the original game, or in this case the director's cut, which I'm playing here. The game centres around STAR's Alpha Team as they try to discover what happened to Bravo Team in the mountains surrounding Raccoon City. But things don't exactly go smoothly. As the helicopter pilot bails out of there, we soon discover this is Brad Vickers, who turns out to be somewhat of a wimp, as we find out in Resident Evil 2 and 3. Well, kind of in 2, you get to kill him. Anyway, that's spoiling enough. Anyway, the group is soon attacked by zombie dogs that chase them into a mansion where 75% of the game takes place. Once in the game, you find only 3 stars made it. Jill, Barry and Wesker if you play as Jill, or Chris, Jill and Wesker if you're playing as Chris. Yes, that's right, this game actually has a character selection. Which basically is normal mode and annoying mode. With Jill being normal mode, she gets access to more weapons and she can carry more items as well, which is handy, but she can't take as much damage as Chris, who only has 6 item slots, which makes the item box in the game very vital for him and annoying, running backwards and forwards getting items. So I just play through as Jill on this one, just to get the footage, you know, a bit easier. Although in director's cut, Chris's game is made a little bit more forgiving because the game gives you the Colt Python earlier, although you don't find ammo until much later in the game. But those 6 bullets could come in handy, you know, taking out some of the tougher enemies in the early bits of the game. Who knows, but it gives it to you. Although there is a bit of a glitch later in the game, which I'll show you when we get to it, because I actually do it in this minute. Also in Director's Cut, it gives you a bit of a bonus in that you can kind of cheat, and in advanced mode you can basically make it give you double ammo by holding the right button on advanced until it turns green and then starting the game. A little cheat there for you guys as well. Right, so let's get back to the game. So it's clear something isn't right, and you're immediately sent off to investigate, and sure enough, about 5 seconds in, you find a pool of blood just there on the floor. Where it comes from, I don't know, Barry finds that out, but asks you to check out some more of the house. So we could go ahead and walk straight through the only door that's available, and this is what you find. Now, I was 10 years old the first time I played this game, around a friend's house, bearing in mind that all I had played up to this point was the Mega Drive and the Master System and an Atari. Those were, like, in reverse order what I had my consoles, and then I got a PlayStation. But yeah, so I was not expecting any of these kind of graphics or anything from the PlayStation, but there we go. And needless to say, I was bricking it when I saw this little scene for the first time. This level of detail was just nothing. I'd never experienced it before. It was just mind-boggling. Needless to say, I ran back to the dining room where Barry took care of this beast. So the game wants us to report to Wesker. But where is the little shit? And you will understand that as you play the game. I'm sure you already know what Wesker's like. So it's going to be a little while before we see him again anyway. So let's explore the house, shall we? So Barry wants us to check the opposite side of the house, so let's do it. Less than a minute later and... So when I was 10 years old, this is sort of where I thought to myself, well, I know where this game's going, so I stopped playing it and let my friend play on and I just watched. I was 10 years old, remember. But anyway, here we are, 16 years later. I got this. Let's crack on. I completed it when I was like 12 on my own, so, you know, it's not like it's my first playthrough. So anyway, as you explore the house, solve some puzzles and bump into Barry once in a while, who, by the way, is one hell of a suspicious character, as you'll see. It's now that I notice the cheesy dialogue, just take a listen.
Oh my God!
What's going on? How come you look so scared?
Look at this.
Here's the serum. Richard, hold on. I'll give you a shot now.
Jill, here's my radio. You should keep it. I'm...
No! Richard!
And Jill, here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Now, I don't know if it's just me, but that is some dodgy script writing there. But it all adds to the charm of the game, you know, being like such an early PlayStation game. It's all very charming. So anyway, basically all you got to do is find these crests which unlock a door, and then you can carry on. But wait, so I find 4 pieces, and then I realised I'm playing Director's Cut, and one of them is in half. So we've got to find the other half, and where's the only place I haven't been? The attic. What could possibly go wrong up there? Well, let's find out, shall we? Yep, that's right, a giant frickin' snake. Although, it goes down quite easily. And in fact, you don't even have to fight it. You can run around it, grab the crest, and just get out of there. But you might take a bit of damage, and you probably take a bit of damage fighting it anyway. So either way, it's up to you. You don't actually have to waste any ammo on it. So yeah, once you've got this crest, you can. This is the final part, and we can get out of this mansion for good. Or will it be for good? We'll find out later. So the next part of the game has us wandering around a massive cabin, which holy shit, it's a shark. Oh, and we escaped from it. Well, that was easy. So anyway, drain the water and... Aw, look at the little sharkies. I suppose we better put them out of their misery. So, we go back, and the next thing we have to fight is... Yep, that's right, a giant plant thing. But, once again, it's not too bad. Shoot it. If you're playing as Jill, you've got the bazooka. Shoot it about 3 or 4 times. Job done. Well, now that that's plant to deal with, let's go back to... Oh, what?
There are a lot of rooms in that mansion that we can't get into because they're locked up. I have been looking around for clues.
Okay, I'll go to the other house and see if I can find any clues.
Oh, look. Back to the mansion we go. Well, can't be too bad, right? I mean, we pretty much cleared that place out when we were there last time. So, let's crack on with this. What's going on? What the hell? Great, new creatures in the mansion. These are hunters, and don't take them too lightly. They can actually kill you in one hit if you have anything but fine health. And guess what we're back here to grab? A sodding battery. These are specially trained STARS members. They're basically the police force, specially trained by God knows who, and they can't even shimmy down a bloody shaft, elevator shaft. You've got to find a car battery to power an elevator. God knows whose idea that was to install that into their mansion. You'd think it'd be connected to the power supply of the mansion. But yeah, you need a battery to stop a waterfall as well, might I add, which you can just walk through. I mean, these guys are like the most pussy guys ever. So, yeah, anyway, once you've done all that, get into the sewers, meet Barry, find a massive plot twist, kill some hunters, dodge a boulder, kill a giant spider, and get out of there. Seriously. The sewers are that short. You would think in a Resident Evil game, sewers are pretty annoying usually, but in this game, it's not too bad. A couple of rooms, job done. Now we venture into the final part of the game, and what Resident Evil game would be complete without a lab? That's right. And, wait a minute. Are those zombies naked? Huh. Anywho, enough sidetracking. This place is relatively small too. All that needs to be done here is to get codes to unlock a cell that holds Chris, and find another sodding battery, but not everything is that easy now, is it? We finally find out why Barry has been, like, suspicious this whole game, and we find out what Wesker is up to. Oh, you wait, Wesker. I sense you will be having a lava fate. Maybe there'll be a couple of rocket launchers there as well. So anyway, let's go destroy this. Wow. That's a big tyrant, and it almost kills me. Awesome. But, as usual, I win. Now let's get the hell out of here. Remembering to grab Chris. So here we are. Helicopter. Come on. Waiting. Oh. Here we go. It's never going to be that easy, is it? Oh, okay. Maybe it will go down quite easily. And there you have it. And that's Resident Evil end boss. Not too bad. Quite easy. Especially when you've got the Colt Python. A couple of shots. Rocket launcher. Job done. Now, once you've completed the game, there are possible 8 endings. I believe there's 8 endings anyway. All of them are the same. You take off in a helicopter, but who is actually on the helicopter is based on what you do in the game. If Barry dies, he won't be there. If you don't get Chris, he won't be there. And if you're playing as Chris, if Rebecca dies, she won't be there. And if you don't get Jill, she won't be there, so on and so forth. But of course, I get the best ending for Jill, because that's just the kind of guy I am. So yeah, enjoy the credits, which, by the way, has some of the best music ever. Shame that the music in the game wasn't like this, but it's nice to hear them in the credits. Once the credits are done, you get a little report screen, and if you complete the game in less than 3 hours... What? 3 hours, 13 minutes. Are you kidding me? Well, if you do it in under 3 hours, you get an unlimited rocket launcher. So close, man, so close. Now, back in 1996, Resident Evil was a great game. Although, today it looks very dated. Its controls were quite unique as well. In that, to move forward, all you do is press up. To turn left, you press left. To turn right, you press right. To walk backwards, you press down. Which is very tank-like controls, but when you've got predetermined camera angles, it's very useful. Just hold up and run. No, like, if you want to see what I'm trying to get at here, play Devil May Cry. As soon as that camera angle changes, you're walking in the opposite direction to what you're trying to walk, and it's just annoying. So the controls are quite good for this kind of game, I think. The sound is pretty good in this game as well. It keeps the suspense up. It's quite quiet in a lot of places, and there's not that many bits that make you jump in this game. The only part I can think of is when the dogs jump through the window at the beginning, which is like 5 minutes into the game, and then there's not really anything. You're pretty much warned about everything else in the game. You get cutscenes of the hunters turning up and all this. It'd been quite nice to get a shock factor on these characters, but hey ho, you can't get everything, can you? So yeah, not many scare factors, like jump factors in this game. It's pretty predictable as well later on in the game. As for bonuses and unlockables, there's the ability to change costumes, which is available from the off in the advanced director's cut version. Otherwise, you've got to complete the game and you get a key which can unlock a door and you can change costume in the original game. And also you get the unlimited rocket launcher if you complete it in under 3 hours. 3 hours, man. 13 minutes out. Can't believe it. If you die in this game, that's it. It's over. You don't get any continues, no extra lives. You didn't save, you're going back to the beginning. So if you die against the end boss and didn't save, unlucky, man. You have to go all the way back to the beginning. Which is a fate I suffered myself while recording some of this footage, as you can see in the background, by some dogs of all things. But yeah. The Saturn version also had a mini game, although I haven't played it, so I can't comment on it on that. And the Windows version contains new weapons and stuff like that. Also, I'll be talking about the remake in detail when it comes to it. Like when I get to it. Like I'm going to do all the games in chronological order. So when I get to remake, I'll do it then. Because it has enough differences in it to warrant its own little video. Also, the DS version that was released as a 10th anniversary. It's pretty much the same, except features were added from later games, such as the Resident Evil 3's 180-degree spin, Resident Evil 4's knife button, so it doesn't take up an item slot anymore. It's just there. Also, the puzzles were changed to utilise the touchscreen. Otherwise, it's just the same game. And that's it, guys, for Resident Evil 1. It's a pretty good game. I personally Back in the day, I would have given it 9 out of 10 maybe. To today's standards, probably a 5 out of 10. Still a good game to play. I like going back to it every now and then. So, yeah, next time we'll be looking at
Resident Evil 2.
And until then, guys, have a great day.